Hey, and welcome back. Today I am talking about the connection between inflammation and food. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Annie Rubin. I'm a registered dietitian and owner of Annie Rubin Nutrition. It is a private practice that I run out of my home, and I work mainly with adults struggling with a host of underlying symptoms from autoimmune and inflammatory disorders. So in my work with clients, I help them implement a personalized nutrition roadmap designed to improve mobility, concentration, energy levels, to really help them live the lives that they, are supposed to live and to give them their lives back. So chronic inflammation is the underlying cause of many chronic diseases and conditions. It has been linked to heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and autoimmune diseases. And what you eat can greatly impact inflammation in your body. So today I'm breaking down the connection between diet and inflammation and what you can start doing to use food as medicine for your inflammation. So before I jump in, I just need to attach a disclaimer to this video that the information in today's talk is not a substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or care of disease by a medical provider. This is for informational purposes only, so please consult your qualified health professional for any changes to your medical care. Okay, what is inflammation and how is it triggered? So inflammation is the process your body goes through to protect itself and bring your body back to normal, otherwise known as homeostasis. And there are two types of inflammation. There is acute and there's chronic. Both follow the same series of steps in terms of how it's initiated and how it's resolved. So first, a harmful substance and or damage is detected in the body. Then cytokines, proteins, and enzymes or mediators are released to help fight inflammation. And then immune-fighting white blood cells flood into the areas of damage to repair tissue and remove bacteria. So chronic inflammation is an ongoing inflammatory process where your cells are unable to repair the damaged tissue. So when this happens, the white blood cells settle into those damaged areas and continue to produce inflammatory mediators. And this creates a vicious cycle that generates more tissue damage. So with chronic inflammation, your body is actually not able to get rid of the harmful substance or resolve the inflammatory response. So instead of going back to normal, your body continues to fight or be on the defense mode. Okay, so how does food trigger the inflammatory process? So food triggers the inflammatory process much like a virus or other foreign object that enters your body. So different foods may also trigger different reactions in your body. And everyone is different. So, some people may be sensitive to certain things, other people may not have food sensitivities. It all really depends on the person. So the most common inflammatory reaction are food allergies and food sensitivities. So while they are different in terms of their mechanism of action, they can both trigger inflammation. Allergies are not as common, but they are typically a little bit easier to figure out, and they can be more severe, whereas food sensitivities can be really tricky and not so obvious, not so apparent. So when you eat a food that you're sensitive to, your body treats the food the same way it would treat a foreign invader. So the harmful substance is recognized, and those chemical mediators, those cytokines, proteins, enzymes, are released. Those same immune-fighting white blood cells flood in and remove the food particle. However, if you don't know that you have a food sensitivity, like most of us don't, or you don't know, what is causing your symptoms, you keep eating that food and your body continues to have that same reaction. So the inflammatory process doesn't resolve and you start to develop chronic inflammation from that food. This can damage the surrounding tissues and cause further issues in your body. On top of this, having a gut that is permeable or leaky can make you susceptible to food sensitivities. So one of the major jobs of your small intestine is to protect your body from the outside world. So when your gut is leaky, those tight junctions that hold your intestinal cells together loosen up. And when they loosen up, this allows undigested particles, toxins, and chemicals to sneak through, and they enter your gut, through your gut into this lymphoid tissue that houses a lot of your immune cells. And remember, these things that sneak in should not be there, so your body doesn't recognize them, so they mount an attack. Okay, so now you know what the process is. What can you do diet-wise to lower your body's inflammation? So, protecting your body from inflammation triggered by food can be solved by focusing on two specific areas. One, removing the sensitive foods, and two, removing foods that trigger a leaky gut. So first, discovering your food sensitivities can be really challenging. The gold standard of practice is an elimination diet where you cut out all the inflammatory foods to essentially calm down your immune system. So once you hit a baseline and you've eliminated those foods for a while and hopefully your symptoms start to resolve, you then reintroduce foods in a very structured way in order to see which foods affect you. So the other and a little bit more direct method is a food sensitivity test. I use the mediated release test, or MRT, which looks at all chemical mediators that are released by food antigens. The problem with most other food sensitivity tests is they only test for one component of the immune system, like IgG or IgM, which may or may not be helpful, in capturing some, but it doesn't really capture everything that you react to. So second, removing the foods that trigger leaky gut is important to protect yourself from food sensitivity reactions, and it's important to help you start rebuilding your gut lining so things don't sneak through that shouldn't. Common foods that trigger leaky gut include things like gluten, dairy, alcohol, sugar, caffeine, grains, nuts, seeds. So quite a number of foods. So in order to be successful in figuring out which foods affect you, you must eliminate all of them at the same time and then wait to see if your symptoms resolve. And if they do, then you can slowly add back foods one at a time to test your tolerance. So there is truth to what Hippocrates said thousands of years ago, let thy food be thy medicine. Food can have a very significant impact on your health, especially when it comes to managing chronic inflammation. So if you feel like you could improve your diet to help your disease or your condition, definitely look into that. You can schedule a free call with me. My contact information's in my bio. But I definitely recommend doing it with a trained professional because it can be overwhelming and you want to make sure you do it right. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching today. If you liked what you saw and you want to see more, hit subscribe to my YouTube channel for more great videos on the connection between inflammation, food, and diet, and autoimmune diseases too. And that is it. Have a great day. Thanks.